In the past few weeks, we actually had some leaks in terms of performance in some platforms of the new Ryzen 7000 series and the new Intel 13th generation series, and the Intel 13th generation as well. Now, what I get after doing some mathematics here is that if results translate, even the 13th generation won't be enough to beat the Ryzen 7000 series in most scenarios. But how do you ask? How exactly and what mathematics? Well, I'll tell you right after the sponsor of today's video. Today's video sponsor is GVG Mall, where using my SKG discount code leads to a 25% off across several products, making a Windows 10 serial key only $16. After the payment, you'll receive the key in your account, and all you need to do is to introduce it in your Windows settings, and bam! You have an activated system. So guys, this shit gameplays, I'm Fabio Pisco and welcome to my channel. And well, let's start with some news that we actually had from Userbench results. Now, take in consideration that Userbench results may not reflect to the reality and mainstream usage of these CPUs, okay? But that's what we have now to compare, okay? Let's start with Userbench results. The Ryzen 5 7600X was actually running lower end DDR5, which may affect the results, leading to lower single-core results. It was running 5600 MHz CL36, while the usual now is 6400 MHz CL36, okay? So we're running 800 MHz lower. So yeah, it should make a difference indeed in terms of single core and multi-threading performance. But as for now, even with this lower NDDR5, we have the 6700X being 56% faster than the 5600X in the Userbench, which is crazy. So basically we go from 156 points in single core to 246, which is a massive increase indeed. And we're talking about just that single core performance. It's not just a huge increase in other things like cores in the core count. No, it is single core performance. One core of the 7600X is doing 56% more work than the core of the 5600X, which is currently the standard for gaming performance nowadays. It is at least, you need to have at least a 5600X to be in the middle ground in terms of gaming performance. The 12600K is a bit faster. So having a CPU that will most likely cost $200 less than the MSRP of the 5600X and performing 56% better in one core is just insane. That's what I tell you, insane. Basically beating the 12900K by 22%, with the 12900K having 200 points and the 7600X having 246, and beating the 12600K by 27%, from 191 points to 243 points. Now going to the multi-core results, things are a bit different, with the 7600X actually beating the 5600X by 23%, going from 1198 points to 1478 points. If we actually compare these results with other CPUs such as the 12600K, the 7600X is supposedly 22% slower than the 12600K, but in comparison the 7600X has 6 cores and 12 threads, while the 12600K has 10 cores and 16 threads due to having 4 efficiency cores. That will help quite a bit in terms of multi-threading. So it is 22% slower, going from 1478 points to 1884 points, but it's normal because we actually have 4 more cores and 4 more threads, which leads to higher multi-threading performance. In terms of the multi-threading performance of the 12900K, obviously the multi-core performance is just way lower. In this case, it is actually 99% slower than the 12900K, going from 1478 points to 2946 points. But once again, it's 6 cores, 12 threads, versus 16 cores and 24 threads. Okay, so it's over double the cores and double the threads, so it's normal that the 12900K is at least twice as fast in terms of multi-threading. It had to be, unless it wasn't really that efficient. Okay, so obviously so far in terms of single core, the 7600X is performing way better, meaning that in mostly in gaming it will perform quite better than the 12900K, and way better than the 5600X. That's one of the points here. But we also have some news on the Geekbench 5 results. If Userbench results actually can be transposed to the Geekbench results, and I know they can't because different benchmarks won't actually stack 100% to 100%, but let's just imagine that the results can be transposed, just to do some brief maths. If those results could actually be used on the Geekbench, the 7600X, being in this case 56% faster than the 5600X, would have 2,517 points, meaning that once again it will be faster in terms of single thread performance than the 13900K. Even with the new generation, Intel will have some troubles in terms of gaming. I believe that they will win in terms of multi-threading performance, obviously, because, well, they have more cores and more threads, they have the efficient cores, so they will win in terms of multi-threading, but in terms of power consumption and in terms of gaming performance, Ryzen will still have the crown, okay? And there's more, because if we actually compare the results of multi-core, well, the 13900K is considerably better than the 12900K because it has 8 efficient cores more. So basically going from 17,287 points with the 12900K to 26,464 points with the 13900K. Now once again, if Userbench results can be transposed to the Geekbench 5 results, if we go to the single core now with the 5950X, and we actually had 56% performance more on top of that, we go from 1,685 to 2,628, basically being quite faster than the 13900K at 5.8 GHz. We can see that the 5950X has around 16,506 points, and putting 23% on top of that to the 7950X, we would have 20,302 points. Compared to the 13900K, we would have around 6,000 points less. But in comparison, it is basically a 16-core, 32-thread chip versus the 13900K that actually has 24 cores and 32 threads. So basically 8 performance cores plus 16 efficient cores will definitely make the difference in terms of multi-threading. But due to the efficiency presented on the Zen 4 cores, if once again results can be transposed, the difference isn't that much, taking in consideration that we have way less cores with a 7950X. So yeah. And well, what I meant with this video and what I'm actually showing you here are a little of mathematics using the results that we had from Userbench and the results that we had from Geekbench 5, okay? That's all I'm doing here. No, I'm not saying that the Ryzen 7000 CPUs will be considerably better in terms of single core performance and worse in terms of multi-threaded performance. But from what we know so far, and applying the mathematics, fucking English, and applying those results, we can actually see and we can estimate that the Ryzen 7000 CPUs will actually be better for gaming than the Intel ones in the next generation. But in terms of multi-threading performance, well, I believe they will indeed lose because Intel is actually having more efficient cores, and those efficient cores will actually improve the multi-threading performance in terms of several things like rendering, like Blender, for example. The efficient cores will be and will actually take the advantage over the AMD CPUs in terms of multi-threading. While AMD CPUs are supposed to be cheaper, consume less power, and be better in terms of gaming. So if you want a midterm, the AMD chips would most likely be the way to go. But if you want the best performance in terms of multi-threading and you don't care about power draw and heat dissipation, the 13th generation Intel seems pretty nice if you ask me. But well, Intel will still have some trouble with Ryzen 7000, and I believe that they will improve over time, and if we can actually use better DDR5 RAM, things and the results will get even better. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe and share this video. Leave your comment in the comment section and let me know what you think about these results, and if you think that these will be the actual real world results, or if the synthetic benchmarks don't mean much and Intel and AMD will be once again on par, being in multi-threading or actually gaming, okay? I just really want to know. Thanks a lot and see you in the next video. Yeah.